Class of 2017, the success stories that you begin writing today as MCC alumni will inspire future generations in your families, your community, and within our own college. Well, when the Reverend Penny Crudup came to MCC as a recent high school graduate, she did not foresee that her story would include membership in the MCC Alumni Hall of Fame, but it does. When she put her dreams of earning a college degree on hold and accepted a job offer that led to a rewarding business career, she did not see herself ever graduating from MCC with distinction and graduating as a member of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society. But she did. When she was invited to serve on boards and committees in our community and to become a leader at the Downtown United Presbyterian Church, she did not imagine herself receiving awards and recognition for her community volunteerism and achievements, but she has. Earning one degree, pursuing one dream, motivating one audience, simply not enough for Reverend Crudup. Her success story is about to add a new chapter, appropriately titled 2017 Commencement Address. Please join me in welcoming Alumni Hall of Fame member and a dear friend, the Reverend Penny Crudup, MCC Class of 2012.
Good morning, everybody. To Dr. Kress, Monroe Community College Board of Trustees, faculty, and staff, to Mayor Lovely Warren and County Executive, to everybody who's present in this arena, and to my family who follows me wherever I go, good morning. Now, to the most important people in this arena, to the class of 2017, I say to you, my fellow alums, great morning. Good morning to you all. Now listen, your homework is done, no more papers are due. I knew I'd get a cheer out of that. The research has been completed and it's been confirmed. You have earned this honor. And this morning, it is my pleasure to salute you. Job well done. Congratulations. To Dr. Kress and the Board of Trustees, the faculty and staff of MCC, thank you for this huge opportunity. No, I didn't see this one coming. When I sat where you sat in 2012, I thought, whew, I finally finished a 25-year goal of getting my associate's degree. In case you can't see from there, I'm a little gray. And when I started at MCC in 1984, my mom and dad proudly sent me off to college. And I'm just going to be transparent because this is what the Board of Trustees and Dr. Kress want me to be right now, and then I'll get into the quotes that the county executive talked about that you have to hear because I Googled and they say you must give a notable quote during a commencement speech. When I started school in 1984, I was a first-generation college student, and what I mean by that, now my mom went on and she successfully graduated from RIT, but we weren't traditional college students. You know, traditional in that you go to high school, you graduate, and then you go to college and you know what you want to be when you grow up. I was not that kid. And the truth is, if I can be just open among 3,000 friends, I didn't know how to go to college. And so when I say I am completely surprised and amazed to be standing here as your commencement speaker, the reason is because of this. The very first time I was invited back to speak at MCC, it was because my brother couldn't make an engagement, and he told the person I can't come and speak. He's an MCC alum also, but my sister will do it. And I reluctantly said, no, I won't. And he said, yes, you will. And I said, okay, but I don't know what I'm going to say. All I knew how to do was be my authentic self and be completely honest. And the honest truth was, in 1984, I didn't know how to go to college, and so I started my very first speech at MCC like this, and I quote, "You're looking at the greatest flunker outer in the history of Monroe Community College." That got no applause, and I'm sure the people who invited me to speak said, what the? But it was the truth. But the rest of the story is this. When I finally got my head screwed on straight and my mom and dad's prayers had been answered about going back to school and getting an education, because after all, my parents come from an era where my mom picked cotton and my daddy picked oranges. I'm 2.5 generations removed from slavery, and the opportunity to go to school was a real privilege, one I didn't understand at the time. And so mom's prayers were answered, and daddy's prayers were answered, and I returned to MCC. And little did I know I would be embraced by a group of people, educators, who would teach me how to learn and love learning. So much so that I did graduate in the top 3% of my class. Big surprise to me, but I did it. And I say to each of you, I'm so glad that you did it also. Now, I had to say that because I received probably 7 phone calls from folk at MCC this week saying, you're going to tell your story, right? You're going to tell your story. Well, I like to at least pretend that I've reached beyond failure, what I considered or perceived as failure in my life, and no longer should have to reflect on that story. But the truth is that failure turned into a huge success for me. As a result of my going to MCC and graduating, I am now a student at Roberts Wesleyan Seminary, Roberts Wesleyan Northeastern Seminary, pursuing a master's degree. Who would have thunk? That wasn't supposed to happen. In 2012, I was excited to have my associate's degree, and that was it. My mom and dad saw me walk across the stage, and that was it. And my husband thought, whoo, I don't have to pay any more tuition. That was it. Now he has to pay a lot more tuition. But who'd have thought that my return to MCC would land me here at this podium? Well, enough about me. Enough about me. County Executive, here's that quote you were looking for, because I Googled and they said, do a notable quote. In the words of Susan B. Anthony, I'm happy to report to this graduating class that failure is impossible. I remember the first time I heard the statement made by Anthony. It was during a tour in the National Museum at the house not too far from here. And the person giving the tour said, and one of her most notable quotes is, failure is impossible. And I thought, me being me, that the tour guide had misspoke, because certainly, based on what I had experienced, failure is possible. So I zoned out for a minute, and I started to reflect on my own personal life of what I had considered at that point to be failures. We got to the museum gift shop, and failure is impossible was stamped on everything. They even had socks with failure is impossible. However, after I heard the statement, I really wanted to understand why she made it and how she made it. After all, if history serves my mind right and I can remember correctly, Susan B. Anthony wasn't even alive when the 19th Amendment was passed, one she fought so hard for the women to have right to vote. So failure is impossible? Absolutely it is. Because she looked beyond opposition and she saw possibility. I've learned that when things don't turn out quite like you think that they should, that possibility becomes failure only when you throw your hat into the ring and you decide, I'm just going to quit and I ain't going to do it. Failure is just as much a part of success as success is a part of success. So why in the world would I even talk about failure on this day that clearly 2,190 of you have exhibited success? Your robes and your caps boast your success. Well, it's not so much about the failure that I'm focusing on, as much as I am how well you've been equipped for success because of the time you've spent here at MCC. My friends, your accomplishments are just beginning. I stand as a witness that this is only the beginning and the best is just yet to come. Yes, right, give yourself a hand. The best is yet to come. In 2012, I certainly did not see myself here, but I see myself beyond here. Not necessarily speaking to crowds like this because inside my stomach is still doing flips. But I see myself using what I've learned at MCC to help not only better myself, but better others that I come in contact with. My friends, you too can believe like Susan B. Anthony that failure is impossible. Now, what lends to success? Well, the list, of course, could be as long as a football field for us individually and collectively. But this morning, I just want to leave you with 3 things that could help you meet your personal goals. One of the things I learned when I Googled is 99.999% of the people forget what the commencement speaker talks about. And so I don't want to be that 99 point, I want to be that 0.0001% that you remember, not because of who I am, but because of these powerful words I want to share with you. And I want you to pour into yourself. The first thing you could do is never stop learning. Never stop learning. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean go enroll in another class, although it wouldn't hurt. I have a very dear friend. Her name is Teresa Ward. She and I graduated together in 2012. We worked together, and she said to me a year or 2 after we graduated, you know, I think I'm going to go back to MCC and get another degree. And she did. Never stop learning. Now, I didn't ask for permission to share these stories from my brothers and sisters, but the worst thing they can do is write me out of their wills. And I'm okay with that because MCC has prepared me to do well in life, if you get what I'm saying. My sister Myra, she's missing today, and she would be sitting right over there in that last seat. She was a stay-at-home mom of 4 children, and after a while, her husband encouraged her to go back to school. And she went back to MCC, and she got her associate's degree, and then she got her bachelor's degree, and then she earned her master's degree. She's not here today, not because she's mad at me, but she's here today because she started her doctoral program at St. John Fisher. And she's done it because she started right here at MCC. My brother is here today, and boy, are we proud of him. We're proud of him because you know who he is. We're so proud of him. He too started here at MCC, and he just really advanced beyond me and my sister. He just kept learning and kept growing and kept learning and kept growing. And so one day I said to him, Hassan, what is it that's motivating you to go to school and do so well? I wasn't jealous or anything. In fact, I was like, hats off to your brother. Let me sharpen your pencil. It ain't in me to do what you're doing. But he would say to me, yes, it is. That's the same brother who told me I was going to speak for him when he couldn't make it. So I listened to him one day, and his story went something like this. He was a shoe salesperson. And he said one day he brought out a pair of shoes to an individual, a woman, and the woman looked at him and said, "You'll never be nothing more than a shoe salesperson." And he said at that point, he made up in his mind that, oh, I'm going to go to school and I'll show you. So he started right here at MCC, and he got his associates, he got his bachelor's, he got not one but 2 masters. And my brother is the first doctor in our family, Dr. Hassan Jones. Never stop learning. Never stop learning. You have become a part of MCC's foundation, all 2,190 of yourselves. Consider yourselves as a newly laid brick to the MCC foundation. Never stop learning. What else can you do? Get all the advice and instructions that you can so that you will be wise in your life. Number 2, hitch. Oh, that was loud. Hitch. Bring it down some. Hitch. Do you all know that I just barely passed when I was at MCC in 84, 94, 2004, whenever it was, public speaking. I just barely passed that class. And so anyway, I remember I got a little too close to the microphone. So I'll try number 2 again. Number 2, hitch your caboose to a train that's already running. Find a mentor. Connect yourself to someone who has arrived to where you are already destined to go. Connect with people who have been there and done that. Find yourself a mentor that will pour into you. Well, you might be sitting there and thinking, but the mentor I have in mind, I can't get in contact with, I can't get connected to. Well, read everything that they've ever written, or read what they read. Understand how they move and understand how they operate. Find out what makes them tick and find out what ticks them off. Don't become a stalker, but do your homework. Be challenged by instructions they may give. Apply them to your life. Hitch your caboose to a train that's already running. The third thing I'll say is become a human resource. The most valuable resource on earth, I believe, are people. Often I say to my family, people need people. Your reality is this. Yes, you're here today by your own effort, your determination, your commitment, your drive, but you have arrived at this destination because someone before you laid their brick and paved the way for the opportunity for your personal success. Leave a legacy. Well, how do I do that? Well, I talked a little bit earlier about Susan B. Anthony. You know, she was so amazing that they actually minted a coin after her. Well, coins haven't been minted in your honor yet. But I'm going to ask each and every individual in here, send back some Susan B. Anthony's to Monroe Community College. Now, please understand, I'm not asking you to do something that I don't do myself. My tuition is paid in full. But every once in a while, I still write a check. Then it would have been to buy pencils, but now it's to buy thumb drives. Believe it or not, your resource could help a student go further. 1 nickel at a time, 1 dime at a time, 1 Susan B. Anthony dollar at a time. And if you don't want to just send 1 Susan B. Anthony, send 2, send 5, send 250,000 of them. We would love to have your support so that others can stand on your brick and then also lay their bricks. Now, in closing, there's a special thank you that I want to give, and it worked out just so that I had an opportunity for the first time to meet this person behind the scenes. I, without permission, had included her in my address, and I thought, well, it might be wise if you ask her if it's okay if you talk about her a little bit today, seeing she's here. That person is Dr. Alice Holloway Young. Oh, you know her. Now, you have to understand, Dr. Young looks like me. I think I'm just a little bit darker than she is, but she looks like me. She's a founding trustee and chair emerita of Monroe Community College. And at the time, she didn't know I was writing her into this speech. What I want to share with you about Dr. Young is this. I still sometimes feel inadequate and incapable. And I want to throw in the towel, and I want to give up, and I want to quit. And it's still hard for me sometimes to remember that failure is impossible. But I attended an event when Dr. Young was there, and in the back of the pamphlet they had her picture. Now when she saw this picture backstage, she says, "Oh God, baby, I got to get you a better picture." But I shared with her, I'll accept the better picture, but this one lives with me at my workplace. And it lives with me taped to the wall right above my desk. Because in her eyes, when I want to give up, especially when I'm writing a 9-page paper, and I want to quit, and I don't see why it's all worth it, Dr. Young's picture reminds me, because of the brick that she laid, failure is impossible. Failure is impossible. And I dare not give up based on her legacy and what she did so that me and you and others might have the opportunity to learn and grow at MCC. So to the graduating class of 2017, all 2,190 of you, my fellow alums, failure is impossible.